The 5 Series needs no introduction. It's the oldest nameplate still in use by BMW, dating back over 40 years, and it's the first car ever to use BMW's current naming convention. This is the 6th generation of the 5 Series, competing in the executive car sector against rivals like the Audi A6 and Mercedes-Benz E-Class. Larger and more expensive than the BMW 3 Series, the 5 Series is also more comfortable, better equipped and more refined too. You won't be short of engine choice. There are 11 different units available. None of them feel particularly underpowered, although you will find yourself working the entry-level 520i petrol just that little bit harder if you want to make swift progress. Nearly all 5 Series buyers are best off going for a diesel version, and the 520d is the pick of the entire range because it rarely has to be stretched, even when overtaking on motorways. If you want more performance, we'd recommend the effortlessly quick 530d. Of the petrols, the pick of the range is the 528i, as it offers the best blend of performance and economy. But if it's performance alone you're after, then there's of course the iconic M5. The petrol-electric hybrid model is one to avoid. It's quick but expensive. The way the 5 Series rides really depends on whether you go for the standard suspension setup or if you tick the box for the optional adjustable shock absorbers called variable damper control. They're not cheap, but they're certainly worth the extra money. Without them, the 5 Series fails to settle over lumps and bumps around town, while undulating roads cause too much body float. Cars with variable damper control are far more comfortable at low and high speeds, partly because you can soften or stiffen the suspension at the touch of a button. The variable dampers affects the way the 5 Series drives too, as it's merely an ordinary car without them. When fitted, you can stiffen the suspension to keep the car's body better controlled through tight bends. It also helps the big BMW to turn into corners with greater urgency. No matter what suspension setup you go for though, the steering is nicely weighted and it gives you a good idea of how hard the tyres are gripping. The range-topping M5 is incredibly capable through the corners with enough grip to give you neck ache. Every 5 Series model does a brilliant job of keeping out road noise, although you will notice a bit of wind noise, especially around the wing mirrors. No matter what the engine, you'll hear little noise from it when cruising on the motorway. The 4-cylinder diesels sound a bit gruff at high revs and can pass vibrations through the gear lever in the manual car, but the 6-cylinder ones stay pretty smooth and quiet no matter how hard you work them, while the petrol-electric active hybrid, as you'd expect, is almost silent at urban speeds. Every 5 Series gets a comfortable and supportive driver's seat, which is fully adjustable for the seat base and for the backrest. However, if you want electric lumbar support, that'll cost you extra, even on more expensive models. You'll find that the pedals are slightly offset, so the driving position, especially in the manual, can be a little odd. It's probably worth taking it for a test drive to see if it's something you can live with. Front and side visibility isn't a problem with thin front pillars and a tall, wide windscreen. However, the thick rear pillars mean that getting a good view of what's going on behind isn't quite so easy. But many rival saloons have similarly restricted visibility, and at least every 5 Series comes with front and rear parking sensors as standard. A rear view camera and a self-parking system are available as optional extras on all models. The dashboard is clearly laid out and all the controls are within easy reach. In this area, the 5 Series is better than most of its closest rivals. The infotainment system, BMW's iDrive, is one of the best on the market too, and it comes in 2 forms, with a 6.5-inch screen for the standard system and a 10.2-inch one for the upgraded professional system found in luxury, active hybrid and M5 models. Both systems are controlled via a rotary dial which is surrounded by shortcut buttons. It's a really easy system to get to grips with. Both screens are clear and the various menus all make sense. Sat-nav comes as standard on all models, as does DAB radio and a USB connection for playing music and charging your phone. An effective Bluetooth system is also fitted. There's no danger of 5 Series owners feeling shortchanged when climbing into the cabin. All the materials, even those lower down that you'll rarely come into contact with, look and feel exceptionally high quality. Even the chrome touches are the real thing, rather than the metal look coated plastics. Similarly, every button and switch is nicely damped, lifting the sense of quality further, while fit and finish throughout the cabin is exemplary. There are different trim inserts available that run the length of the dashboard and around the doors, and they all look and feel upmarket too. Executive cars need a good showing for cabin space, and the 5 Series is one of the roomiest out there, at least in the front. Even the tallest adults will have enough headroom, and because the seats slide back a long way, legroom won't be a problem either. Rear space though isn't as good as the front. If you've got 3 adults sitting side by side, shoulder room is restricted and the person sitting in the middle will have to straddle the transmission tunnel. However, the same could be said for many of its rivals. Storage is fairly good, with a decent sized glove box and a lidded cubbyhole in front of the gear lever that'll take most wallets, keys and mobile phones. Both door pockets will accept a small bottle of water, but that's about it. There are map pockets on the back of the front seats, although like those in the front, the door pockets are shallow and a relatively small opening. The boot is a decent size for its class, sitting between the Audi A6 and Mercedes E-Class. It's a decent shape and it should fit 2 large suitcases, maybe even a couple of small ones. Like all saloons though, the boot opening is far smaller than that of a hatchback. The boot is a nice square shape thanks to wheel arches that don't intrude too much, although there's quite a step down from the boot lip to the boot floor. It's disappointing that you can't exploit the rear seat area as additional load space, as they are fixed as standard. You have to pay extra to make them split 60-40 and fold down, although at least they lie almost flat when folded. The BMW 5 Series and its rivals are similarly priced. Likewise, the fuel economy figures and the CO2 emissions are also pretty similar too. So for the most part, they are roughly equivalent in terms of cost. As long as you steer clear of the petrols, fuel economy is good too. Every diesel engine is impressively frugal, but it's the 4-cylinder ones that really stand out. In fact, the 520D managed 48.5 miles per gallon in our real-world true MPG tests, which is a fine result given the car's size and weight. Resale values are strong, in no small part due to the badge, so private buyers will get back a decent chunk of what they paid for the car when they come to sell it, and leasing rates are competitive. It's also worth considering the optional prepaid servicing plan, which covers all of the routine servicing costs for the first 5 years or 50,000 miles. Kit levels are on the generous side. Entry-level SE trim is the cheapest but still comes stacked with equipment, so well worth going for. Among the luxuries it gets as standard are heated leather seats, sat-nav, dual-zone climate control, xenon headlamps, front and rear parking sensors and 17-inch alloy wheels, so you're hardly left wanting. There's a massive range of options to choose from, including ventilated front seats and rear entertainment screens, but we'd keep it simple and add the split folding rear seats and maybe lumbar support for the front seats. Of course, the optional variable damper control is a must if you want your 5 Series to have a comfortable ride and agile handling. However, BMW was rated as one of the worst brands in our reliability survey, with the 5 Series scoring a below average rating. Thankfully, all 5 Series come with a 3-year unlimited mileage warranty, which is similar to the cover provided with most rivals. All models come with a minimum of 6 airbags and a host of electronic driver aids, including stability control and a system that primes a safety kit if a crash looks inevitable. When tested by Euro NCAP in 2010, the 5 Series scored 5 stars, with an exceptional 95% for adult occupant protection. The BMW 5 Series is a classy, spacious and refined executive saloon with good levels of equipment straight from the off, low running costs and an excellent range of engines. It's only a shame that you have to pay extra to make your 5 Series ride and handle like it ought, and it's a pretty expensive option no matter which model you go for, but it's worth it. For more information, search for the BMW 5 Series on whatcar.com, and to keep up to date with all our video road tests, click subscribe.